Hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to part 2 of a year in Sizecoding with PS, where we go over the Sizecoding highlights of the year 2021 in terms of demo scene productions below 100 kilobytes file size in disk. We're covering the best of the year, so this is part 2, so we're starting from the end of July and beginning of August. We're going to start with the releases from At Party that had a 256 byte intro competition that was won by Project Eden of Marquee Design. Very interesting release. Then we had Silly Venture happening also in August. Silly Venture 2020 +1, because it was the one that was supposed to take place in 2020 but was postponed to 2021. It had a few interesting compos, mostly for the Atari. The Atari ST 128 byte intro was won by Game Over, which is actually a screen that takes like 3 minutes to render, but it looks like this. So congratulations Sedma for winning that compo with that entry. Then we had the Atari XL XE 256 byte intro competition. He had a total of 11 entries submitted. We wanted to highlight the top 3 of them. Workaholic City in the Early Morning by Zine of Agenda had a very nice composition and some sound effects as well. 7 by Tricks of Agenda got second place, and in first place Pole Position by Tricks of Agenda as well. All worth checking out. In Poland, in the late August, we had a 256 byte intro competition, which was also packed with very good releases. Only total of 7 entries on the compo, but a lot of high quality stuff. Let's start with Ptero Allium Altum by Sheen of Agenda for the Atari ST. Then we had Plasma by Piezo and Sheen, also for the Atari ST, that was also pretty good. Jump for the ZX Spectrum by Tigris of Specchia PL. Koala did Weagle for the Atari ST, got third place, or actually a combined second place with Hypnotizing by Gorg. And in first place for the Pico 8, we had the first ever 256 byte intro for the Pico 8, which is quite an achievement considering you can't really cram 256 bytes into it. So there were some new engineering involved, similar to what are copying the system that was put in place for the TIC 80, evolving it for the Pico 8. You have less space available because the card header size is slightly bigger, but still enough to make this Picology intro that you're seeing here by Super Rogue of Marquee Design. On the same weekend in Russia, we had Chaos Constructions with a couple interesting compos that took place. The old school tiny intro compo was won by a ZX Spectrum 512 byte intro, Twisterization by Dr. Max. And the PC tiny intro competition also had quite a few interesting releases. In third place, Freeze and Trees by Gene X for 64 bytes only, got third place. In second place, 256 byte intro, we had Quantum Lissing by Rubelson, and in first place, Chaos Constructor by Marquee Design won the competition. In 3rd to 5th of September in Argentina, we had Flash Party, and it also had quite a few interesting competitions. 256 byte intro compo was won by the entry called Amor para Dos by Rick of Latitude Independent Association. And the interesting aspect of this particular entry is that it works on 2 different operating systems. It's both for the Commodore 64 and for the MS-DOS. So like different systems use different parts of the header to show what's supposed to be shown, and you have 2 intros in one single file that works on both systems. It's not the first time that this is done, but it was an interesting implementation. The effect is not that good because technically speaking you end up with 2 128 byte intros, but still a pretty interesting achievement for the Sizecoding nerds that are out there. Amor para Dos by Rick. It won the 256 byte intro compo. They also had a TIC 80 256 byte intro compo due to many releases for this particular platform. In second place, we had a Requiem for a Piggy, Pestis making his debut on the TIC 80 Sizecoding scene. And in first place, we had Flowing Triangles by Shy with some 3D voxels that just completely blew everybody's mind. How is that possible on the TIC 80? Moving on to other demo parties in Hungary, we had Function happening on the 10 to 12 of September physically. It had 256 byte intro compo with 10 releases. In the third place, we had Go Worm by SP for the MS-DOS. All of these entries were for the MS-DOS. In second place, Beats Not Bits Bitches by Ionic of Astro Idea. And in first place, MEMS by DigiMind Microwave Electro-Mechanical Systems, which was nominated for an award very, very deservingly. This is one of the best 256 byte entries from the year, in my opinion. Let's see if it will win the Nano Awards or not. Love Byte came back for a Battlegrounds edition on the 25th to 27th of September. They had mostly focused on byte battles themselves, but also some Sizecoding compos. Fantasy Console 128 byte intro compo got some very good releases. In 6th place, Waves by Shy. In 5th place, Behind the Glass by Genex. In 4th place, The 128 bytes by myself, PS. In 3rd place, Hyperspace by the Oars. In 2nd place, Cthulhu 128 by Pestis. And in 1st place, Sharded by Super Rogue of Marquee Design. All of these for 128 bytes on the TIC 80. Really cool stuff. On the 256 byte intro compo, we also had a lot of good, interesting releases. Total of 15 submissions. The ones that we wanted to highlight were This Is Not a Broadcast by Yobe of Matt Current in 5th place. In 4th place, we had Like a Flower by Genex. City by Shy got 3rd place. Blue Wave by The Watcher of Tob got 2nd place. And in 1st place, Fractal on Resculus by Exoticorn of Firebird. So really good compos at Love Byte Battlegrounds, which was really cool to see. Special highlight to the Pico 1K Jam that took place also this year. I think it ended in the end of September as well, doing Sizecoding stuff in 1 kilobyte for the Pico 8. Yeah, moving on to other compos, we had Deadline happening in Germany physically on the 8th to the 10th of October. It had a 256 byte intro compo, not many releases, only 10, but all of them pretty good quality. In 2nd place, we had Transmission by Vlad, and in 1st place, 101 by Automata. Really good entries. In Portugal, we had the Inertia demo party that I helped organize. We had a 256 byte TIC 80 intro compo for the first time ever. We decided to increase the size limitations on the TIC 80 to see what it could do. And in 3rd place, we had Inertia 512 bytes by myself, a tribute to the ZX Spectrum. In 2nd place, we had Glory by Yobe of Matt Current. And in 1st place, Crackle Bass by Pestis of Brainless Coders. I think it was a really good compo, and looking forward to more entries next year. We also had a byte size compo where we limited to 256 byte for whatever platform you wanted. In 5th place, we had Time Warp for the Atari Lynx. In 4th place, we had Exaberation for the Electronica BK, which was really cool to see on Sizecoding on different platforms, especially old ones like this. Not be able to for the TIC 80 got 3rd place. In 2nd place, Balls 256 byte by Dresden Boy got 2nd place. And in 1st place, Gyro by Super Rogue, also for the TIC 80. So TIC 80 world domination. 2021 was really the year of the TIC 80 in terms of Sizecoding. Demo Splash 2021 also had a size-constrained compo. It was won by Byte Thrower of Sense Install, and it was quite worth checking out, so I do recommend you checking it. Demodulation on the 27th of November had an old school intro 256 byte intro compo, and Martian Wind in 128 bytes got third place. In second place we had Kokuwaka? I don't know how to pronounce this, by Manwi of Sands for the electronic BK 256 bytes, and the winner entry was for the MS-DOS 256 byte intro Light XT Forms by WBC BZ7 of Sibcrew, a very interesting XT CGA format being abused there. Silly Venture had a new edition still in 2021. It had the usual Atari compos that it has, Atari ST 128 byte compo, with a couple interesting releases, 128 full by Leonard of Oxygen, showing full screen stuff, and Silly Invaders got first place by Sedma, implementing a Space Invaders version inside 128 byte size limit. For the Atari XL XE 256 byte intro compo, we also had a few good releases. Jazzy Winter by Sheen of Agenda in second place, and in first place Metro by Sheen of Agenda. This last one, Metro, also nominated for a Nano award. ZX Spectrum 256 byte intro compo also took place at Silly Venture. Only three entries, but all of them quite worth checking out. All of them by Joker, which seem to be the group that is dominating the ZX Spectrum Sizecoding entries, compos, platform, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, Glitch Towers got third place, really interesting entry. Throwing Up by Joker again got second place, which was one of my favorite entries from the whole party. And in first place, Misalliance by Joker yet again. All three entries from the group Joker. Pick which one is your favorite. I like all of them, but I think my favorite one is Throwing Up. Anyway, so those were the entries released at the ZX Spectrum 256 byte intro compo at Silly Venture Winter Edition. And to round up the year, we had a Sylvester party happening at the last year of December, and it had a fantasy compo which features some Sizecoding related stuff, which I wanted to highlight as well. In third place, we had Forbidden Fireworks by The Watcher in 512 bytes, doing a fireworks effect. And in second place, we had Duck Jam by Lovebite and Friends, which compiled all the entries from a Sizecoding jam session that took place during Lovebite Battlegrounds on the theme of a duck. Several people coded different effects for duck, and people decided to compile it, and Gasman did a cover version of DuckTales, and we have this back for you to check out and also see the size code of all the different entries that were released there. So yeah, those were the entries that are more interesting in terms of Sizecoding from the demo scene in 2021. Hope you enjoyed this readout, and hope you found some hidden gems, and go check out the releases. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that stuff. Well, like the entries, subscribe my videos, and see you next video. Bye bye everyone. Enjoy Lovebite. Take care.